Hi there. Now in this video we'll be looking about classes and objects. So classes and objects are like something like when I want to create an object of a class and I want to use the same thing again and again. I could create a class. So classes contains all the variables and methods inside it. So that doesn't make sense now, but I'll be telling you all with an example of a game. Let's say uh, let's say I have a game where I have to create a lot of users. So I'm gonna create a class user and curly brackets. This is how we are supposed to the syntax of the class. And let me and inside the class we have something called score that stores the score of a user. So if there are multiple users and we want to use the same, the user properties, we can go ahead and store the user properties inside inside the class user. So in order to create the object, in order to create the user, you're supposed to write a user, the class name, and then anything else. I'm going to write the name of the user. The name of the user is Seth is equals to new user. That basically means I'm creating a new user, and semicolon after that. So now I can access this user by using this object Seth. So I'm going to write something like Seth.score. So user stores everything inside, all the qualities, all the properties inside the user of the user will be stored inside the class user. So you don't have to write the same thing again and again. You can just go ahead and wrap it up inside a class. So I'm going to write Seth.score is equals to, I'm going to set that is equals to 10. And let me show you how it looks while printing this thing. Backspace Seth.score. Let's run without login. That's executing. So it is very simple. This is very simple, and we can create more users. We can also create so many users, not only one object. We can also create user Seth, user your name, user any user who is playing the game. We can make an object of that class, and we can basically use that to, what do you call this, we can use that to create objects and get the value of score again and again. And it won't be same for every object, it will differ from every object. So I'm sure that makes sense. If it doesn't, no problem. We always have Google for that, and we will look about this later on in the videos while making applications. And at the end of this video, at this section, we'll be making a person's application. And I guess my internet's not working, so I guess it needs internet to run this thing. Of course, it's an online compiler. So let me see. Yeah, so internet's back now, I guess. So I'll just copy this thing and reload because internet is back. And let me remove this thing. See the date. It's an inbuilt thing. So that person has been creating object for that date, and we have an error just because we copy and pasted. Now let me remove this thing. We have this extra this thing. Line 17, yeah. So let me remove that, and now it's fine. See, as you can see, I can output the score as 10. So if if there was something like, if I made a a function that returns, if my score was above 100, then it returns that I've won the game, or it returns true that I've won the game. So I'm gonna write score is greater than or equal to 100 open curly brackets, and I'll write something like I'll just return true because the function returns this thing boolean, right? Over there, boolean. So that score, the same score that we have above. Now if in or else, in the else condition, we are supposed to write false. Okay, now, and in the place of score we are only supposed to write has won, because we don't want to know about that thing. Unless and until you call a method, it won't work. So let me run this and check. I'm sure this should give the return as false. See, because the score is less than 100, the return is false. Now let's check something like 200. Now let's run that. There you go, true. And as you can see over here, we have one. And if I put something like 200 and maybe so yeah, this basically sums up everything, I guess. In the classes can have everything like methods, variables stored, and all the anything. Classes can basically have anything. So it will basically wrap up the whole information under one name. So yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. So now the challenge that I'm going to give you is pretty much simple. I want you to create a class of number, and for that class number I want to have a for that class I want to have a integer number. So inside that integer number, any integer number of your choice, and I want a int value, and which could be positive, negative, or zero, or less, or zero. So you gotta make a function which tells that the number that we are passing, that the number that we are writing, and that number is negative or positive. If that number is positive, return true. So if that makes sense, just go ahead and do that, and if it doesn't, just go along with me. But I'm gonna encourage you to do everything by yourself, because if you don't try anything, you'll not learn a single thing. So that's something that you have to consider. But don't worry if you're if you're finding it hard, it's okay. I'll show you how it works, and in the next video we're gonna make a person's. Let me remove this, and let's just go ahead and complete this thing. Public, I'm gonna create a class public number. I'm gonna remove this thing, right? Pub class number, and inside the number we want a value of number. I'm not gonna assign anything. I'm gonna be like boolean, because I want to return something, right? Boolean function, and if number is greater than if number is positive, no, there's no inbuilt method of that, is greater than 0, then it is positive, or greater than equal to, I'm not sure if 0 is a positive or negative. I guess 0 is not considered both positive or negative, it's a 0. So let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna return true if that's the case, and in the else condition I'm gonna return false if the number isn't positive. Class number, and we have everything. So let's just go ahead and create the object. You know how to create the object number, not this number, capital number, and my number. I'm gonna keep the name of the object as my number, new number, 2 parentheses, I'm sorry, control Z, semicolon, and my number dot number is equals, not capital number. Autocomplete, you're killing me here. Number is equal to 10, semicolon. So let me just go back and run this thing. Okay, okay, oh my god, okay, I forgot to give the name of the this thing, function. I'm sure you all have noticed that I haven't gave a name. Sometimes it happens. So I'm gonna put something like my number, not is positive directly. If I put is positive directly, it doesn't see. If I run this is positive, it is not gonna find a symbol unless and until we use that. And even if I put parentheses, cannot find symbol, because this is positive is inside number, my number class. So we are supposed to write my number of dot is positive. So if that's the case, it's gonna return true. So yeah, that's it for this video, and we're gonna try something like, yeah, you know how everything works. And in the next video, gonna make a person's application on this compiler. So that's something that you gotta consider. If I put -10. So yeah, see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.